Well, thank you very much for clicking on the video. I'm here, this is my first time sleeping here in this shelter. I built it about a month ago and it still needs a little bit more work. I'll do a few more improvements tomorrow. But I just want to say that tonight I'm going to stay here. It's going to be about -6 degrees tonight. Right now it's about -2. I've got 2 t-shirts, 2 jumpers. I've got like 2 of everything on because it's so cold at the moment. My hands are freezing. But it's nice and warm in there, although it could do with being a bit more closed off in that front section just to keep in that warmth. Tool-wise, well, I've got my usual axe, my knife and a saw. I've got a deer hide, a sleeping bag, I've got some food, I've got a steak I'm going to cook up, some asparagus, I've got peppercorn sauce because you've got to have peppercorn sauce with a steak. If you disagree, let me know what your favourite sauce is in the comment section. But yeah, please stay tuned to find out what I get up to and to see if I survive the night by not turning into an icicle. But until then, I've got a nice warm cup of tea. So as it's such a cold night, I want to make sure I've got plenty of firewood. I've already collected a little bit. I'm probably going to use most of that for cooking tonight. But I think the most important thing now is just to make sure that I've got wood for later on so I stay warm. Well, me and my dog, so we stay warm tonight. The last thing we want to do is wake up in the middle of the night, freezing cold, no wood to burn, and having to use the head torch to go and find some dry wood. I've already burnt so much wood in this woodland. Well, the wood I'm using, it's mainly cedar wood and a lot of it is seasoned, but I've used so much of it that there's hardly any more dead seasoned wood around in this woodland to use. One way to tell cedar wood, well, one great thing about cedar wood is that it's got this bark and it peels off really easily. And you can actually make cordage with this stuff. I've made it plenty of times in the video before. It's basically, you peel away the inner strands from the cedar bark, you then twist them together and you can make the most amazing cordage or string. Smells great too. Well, I wasn't expecting that, but I've just found a nail in that wood. So, it's quite lucky I didn't saw through that because that would have really blunted my blade, or dulled my blade, as you guys in America say. Anyway, this, rather than just pull it out and throw it on the ground and forget about it, or even throw it in the bin, this I'm going to use because I think if I can get this nail out somehow, I might have to straighten it up a bit. What I'm going to do is see if I can use this to attach that deer skull that I found a few weeks ago here in the woods. I'm going to attach it to the top, sort of roughly about there, the top of the shelter. So let's see if it works. I think that'll do. Straight enough. So again, the plan is to put this into there, or even there, I'm not too sure. Let's have a look. Where should I put it? There or there? Okay, I've made my decision. It's going to go right there. I'll just show you the back of the deer skull. Right there. If I guess if that was nailed in, and then I could just slot over it and then kind of just hang like that. Cool. Well, that's one job done. So you've probably noticed that I've got this wood stove and it's got a built-in oven. Up until now I've used wood stoves in the woods and I've only been able to fry food or boil food, whereas this, I can use the oven compartment to actually bake food. And last time I came here, I think it was last time I came here, I cooked a pizza. So I made fresh pizza dough right here in the woods. I had all the fresh ingredients and it probably took, I think it took maybe 60 to 90 seconds and it was cooked. It was such a good pizza. Obviously I had to, halfway through, about 30 seconds into it, I had to turn the pizza because one side of the box has got a fire, the other side has got the oven, and you kind of, you know, it doesn't really have a good even heat distribution. So that's why I had to turn the pizza, but it worked out really well. I think I might come back here one day, maybe before Christmas, and bake a pie, because I've never baked a pie in the woods, especially in this pizza oven, well, in this wood stove / pizza oven. So I think I'll do a pie. But what pie, I don't know. Should I just use some chicken, some beef, some lamb, or should I use something a bit more wild, like a bit of venison or pheasant? Please let me know below, comment down below, what should I put in my pie next time I come to the woods? So in there, I've currently got a bit of corn, well, corn on the cob, and I have the world's smallest and skinniest sweet potato because it's all I had at home when I left to go here this morning. So I just grabbed what I had, and you quite often find that what I do is I just grab whatever food I have at home, maybe in the fridge or in the storeroom, and I'll just bring it with me. You know, there's no special trips that I've done to go to the shop. I never really plan in advance what I want to cook. I just grab what I have, just like I would do if I was cooking a meal at home, see what's around, and then just bring it to the woods. So it's a bit of a freestyle meal tonight, although I do have a nice steak. I've got a ribeye steak and I've got a bit of peppercorn sauce, as I mentioned earlier. Oh yeah. I've got some butter, so hopefully I'm going to infuse a bit of butter with some rosemary and a bit of garlic. That should really make it a nice tasty steak. I didn't have any white onions at home, so I just grabbed a couple of these little red onions. And people are often wonder what I take with me when I go to the woods when it comes to food, especially ingredients like seasoning and oil, and how do I carry my oil? Well, I don't know what this bottle used to be, but it's really handy. It's a glass bottle and it's got this really good secure lid, which means the oil doesn't escape out of it into your bag, onto your sleeping bag. And this thing as well, this thing is a subscriber sent this to me about a year or two ago, and it's really useful. In fact, you can see there I've labeled each and every bottle. So we've got things like mixed herbs, there's also salt, I've got some curry powder, I've also got some paprika powder, and then I've got some garlic granules, which, well, I'm not going to use today because I've already got some fresh garlic. And what else we got? We've got some pepper, really important for today. Oh, actually there's not much in it, I need to refill that, but good thing is I've got peppercorn sauce. So yeah, that is pepper right there. So again, this is what I take with me. This can, this can change some very bland tasting food and turn it into something really tasty, which is what you want on a night like tonight where it's super cold. Oh, I almost forgot about these. These are asparagus tips. Really good. Woo. Sweet potatoes done, nice and soft. Okay, I think we're ready to cook. Time to get the steak in the pan. Okay, might be a bit too much butter, but you know what? A bit of butter never hurt anyone, did it? And you know it's going to be good. And with the butter, I'm just going to throw in a bit of this rosemary, just to really flavour that butter. I don't want it to burn, so I'm just going to have it sort of half on at the moment. And then I'll get some garlic and throw that in as well. I'm just going to throw that in like that. And while that's infusing, all those flavours are infusing into the butter, I've got this milk. So I've poured some milk into this little pot, and here we are, I've got some packet food here. You know, don't be afraid to use packet food. It's not always about using fresh ingredients. Look, I've just got some creamy pepper sauce, and it's in a powder form. All you need is a bit of milk. I haven't really checked how much milk you need, but I'll just use this amount and then pour the powder in until it thickens. Throw these onions in. So normally I'd put some herbs, or I'd put some butter on this, or even some oil and some pepper. However, with all the butter we have in the pan and the flavours in that pan, I'm just going to put this straight into the hot pan. And then I'm just going to leave it a quick flip. It's only been in for about 3 seconds. Quick flip, just so that it kind of seals that side. And then now it's going to cook for the next, I don't know, it's quite a thin steak. It's only going to cook now for about maybe a minute and a half each side. So the steak's cooked. I've just lifted it onto the asparagus so it can sort of partially rest for a minute, although it's still in the pan, but it's not directly touching the pan. And then I'm gonna get my plate and serve up. God, this smells incredible. So I think I might need a bigger plate next time. Peppercorn sauce, and then sweet potato. So remember I said I had the smallest and skinniest sweet potato in the whole country, maybe even in the whole world. This is what I'm talking about. Again, it's just what I had left over at home. Oh, it's hot. So I think I'll just slice it open, and then I'm just going to squeeze out. Ooh, that's really hot. Ow! And if you're wondering about my hungry dog next to me, well, she's a Labrador, and even though she's just eaten, I do have a little snack for her later. Even though she's just eaten, being a Labrador, she's never full, so she'll always sit there wanting more and more food. Hey, yeah, you do, don't you? Oven cooked, or oven roasted corn on the cob. You know what, I think I might have left it in a bit too long. But a bit of butter should help it out, should bring it back to life. No, leave me alone for once. It's my food. Right, time to try the steak. But it obviously needs a little bit of salt. So I've got this salt. I made this last year. I've got some wild garlic. You can probably see there's bits of green in it. I've got some wild garlic, dried it out in a dehydrator, got some nice salt, mixed it in with the salt, and it's got the most amazing flavour. It really does. Right, that's enough salt. So I like my steak quite rare. Ooh, bit of peppercorn sauce. Oh, it's all about the ribeye. It just melts in your mouth. Wow. Let me know in the comment section, how do you like your steak? Alright, so one thing I totally forgot to bring with me, which would have gone down well with this steak, is a beer. Unreal. I used to really like rump steak, And then a couple of years ago, I kind of discovered ribeye. If you like steak, you gotta have a ribeye. Trust me, it's so good. If you're watching this, but you haven't subscribed, but you like the kind of shelter building in the woods and woodland cooking, you know what to do. Hit that red button. So as there's no beer, I'm just gonna stick this kettle on and wash it all down with another cup of tea. Proper English cup of tea. Oh yeah, I've had a few subscribers contact me recently telling me that they haven't been notified when it comes to videos going live. So I'd like to ask you all a favour, for those people that are subscribed, if you can just go down to the notification settings and just make sure that that bell is activated so that you're notified when a video goes live. Because the last 3 videos, there's been quite a few people that have not been notified. I don't know why. Sometimes, from what I've heard, that sometimes people have automatically been unnotified, as in that setting's been turned off, although they've previously turned it on. So again, if you could do me a favour, just go down and make sure your settings are set to, well, your notification settings are set to active or whatever it is. Just make sure that bell button on the notification thing is checked. You know what? You'd pay good money in the restaurant for this. Or is it just that food cooked in the woods tastes so much better? Especially when it's like -4. Wow. Yeah, that fatty flavour of the steak just melts in your mouth. The asparagus has got a bit of crunch to it, and then I'm scooping it up with a bit of the sweet potato, and there's a bit of that crispy garlic that I put in, and there's onion as well. Oh. This is my sort of food. So yeah, woodland cooked pie. What should I put in it? Again, let me know. I'm thinking maybe venison, pheasant, but I'm happy to put in some lamb, some beef, or maybe just do a vegetable one. A vegetable, kind of like a vegetarian pie. I've never cooked a vegetarian pie. I don't even know what goes in a vegetarian pie, but I take it there's no meat. So this is it, final bite. It's hot. Yeah, it's actually a really cool little shelter. I've built a lot of shelters over the years, but this one, it's like, it's really cozy. The heat just reflects, just rebounds off these walls. It does escape through there, and it doesn't help having a big opening at the front, but that will soon change. Yeah, looking forward to a cold night's sleep. It's alright, I've got you a blanket. So I'll just give you a little tour of the shelter at night time. First of all, you can see the table. I've brought the table out. I'm going to give all that a clean, which you probably don't want to see me film, so I won't film it. Oh, it's actually just started to snow. Look at that. Right, so we might end up with a bit of snow tomorrow. Anyway, the shelter, let's go around the side here without falling over, tripping over any wood. There's the wood stove, bit of smoke coming off it. And then we can go have a look inside. Oh, look at it. Yeah, it's really cozy in there, it really is. And I can imagine with the front on, well, with the front door and the back sealed, it'll be really toasty because I've got a really thick layer of leaves on the roof there. You can see, so I use the plastic from the old, so for those that might not know, I used to have a big shelter here, a big lean-to shelter, and it had this plastic tarp on it that I found not far from here actually, just in the field. And I thought, well, you know what, it's all about making use of what you have. So I turned it into a big lean-to, and that was there for about 2 or 3 years. I've then changed it from the lean-to to this, almost like a mini Viking house. And there's the, what do you call it? There's the deer skull right there. Amber, she loves it actually. Before I even hung that deer skull up, all she wanted to do was chew on these antlers. So I thought, nope, I'm gonna put that up there because it'll look good. Hey, sorry about that, Amber. Anyway, I'm gonna sit down and enjoy my cup of tea. And if you're wondering what time it is, it's about 7, maybe half 7. Actually, it might even be 8 o'clock, I'm not sure. So quite an early night tonight. You know, the thing about camping in the woods is there isn't really much to do at night time, especially when it's dark. I can't really make any improvements. I can't saw any wood. Well, I can saw wood, but I've got some firewood. Yeah, it's kind of a bit of downtime. Yeah, when it gets dark. So yeah, just me and Amber, cup of tea, and then, oh, I better put some water on so that I can clean all that, all the dishes. And yeah, that's about it. So if I don't report back, I'll see you all in the morning with an update of how the night went. We might have a bit of snow cover, we might not, but we'll see. Oh, who are you growling at? It's only the camera, I'm only talking to the camera. Anyway guys, good night, see you in the morning. It's still quite cold. But yeah, I survived the night. Wasn't too bad actually. I just slept in all my clothes and my head like inside my sleeping bag and the little toggle thing done up. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. But I do want to make an improvement to this. That is for sure. Anyway, I've got a cup of tea, I've got the kettle on the go. Yeah, got to start the day with a nice hot cup of tea. So while the egg and sausage are cooking and the muffin is warming, I want to ask you another question. Do you want to see me come back here and do another overnighter, but in the roundhouse? You might remember this, I built it with Mike from TA Outdoors. However, I did just say to you yesterday that I would cook a pie in that wood stove. So I think it's only right that when I do come back to cook the pie, I continue, well, I stay in that shelter. Or do you want to see me do the roundhouse? Or even, do you want to see me stay in the log cabin? So this is the log cabin. I built this with a friend of mine called Care from Care Bear Adventures. And yes, the door's not looking too good, but it's got quite a cool window that opens and closes. But yeah, do you want to see me after I do the pie and do an overnighter in that shelter? Do you want to see me do an overnighter in the log cabin or in the roundhouse? All you got to do is let me know. So you know I use the plastic tarp. There used to be a lean-to here with a plastic tarp that I found in a field nearby. It had a few holes in it, but it's all about making use of what you have. I do have a bit of pond liner, some more plastic that's stuffed in the wigwam shelter over there. It's been there for about a year. I've never really used it, but I'm thinking tonight for a little short-term fix, I could kind of drape a bit of a door. I'm going to try and close that off a little bit more. And I could drape a bit of a door over the front just to keep that heat in. So that's what I'm thinking. Again, it's a short-term fix, but I'll come back another time when I do find or gather more wood and kind of, you know, finish it off. Oh yeah, it's like a sausage and egg McMuffin. Hot. It's good. So the reason why I'm eating quite late is because I'm not much of a breakfast eater. I've never been one to wake up in the morning and have an appetite. Never have. But this is really good. And although Amber's already had her breakfast, I'm saving her this sausage. Well, it's like 2/3 of a sausage. I kind of cut through it, but didn't quite get to the halfway mark. So I'm letting this cool down and then I'll give it to Amber. In fact, I might show you a few tricks that she can do. Right, Amber, you love sausages, don't you? Yeah, I know you do. Well, do you want to give us a little spin? Yeah? What? No, can we get another spin? Okay, good girl. There you are. Ow, he almost took my finger off. So the next trick is called rollover. So Amber, lie down and roll over. Good girl. But be gentle, okay? Don't take my fingers off, be gentle. Good girl. And then we're going to do one more trick because I just ate the other piece. So this one, well, she used to be really good at this, but she isn't that good anymore because we haven't practiced with her that much. So I'm going to balance it on her nose. I'm going to say leave, leave. Hold on. Leave, leave, leave. Oh, God. Yeah, I think we need to practice that one a little bit more. Hey, was it good though? You like sausages? If you're wondering how I'm actually securing these to this piece of wood, well, they're not. They're all just freestanding. However, they're being held in by the weight of this tarp. So I've cut this one a little bit longer, well, a little bit higher than the tarp. And as I place it next to it, what I do is I go in, I lift up the tarp, push this underneath, and the weight of it just holds it all in place. It's not a long-term shelter, it's just a very short-term shelter. I might just have this up for like a few months, maximum 6 months, and then I'll probably take it down and rebuild it into another shelter. Oh, I think it's trying to snow again. It's trying. It's not doing very well though. I was expecting to wake up with a bit of snow covering the camp, but it didn't happen. So this is the pond liner I was talking about. Again, it's just something that's been left down here at the camp, and I've never used it, but I think a night like tonight I kind of need to use it. The question is it going to be wide enough for the door, or do I need to find some more wood? Oh. Cuts quite easily actually. Or it could just be the knife. Merch plug. Yes, these are my knives. They're on the website, so go and check them out. I'm trying to make a little hole in that. There we go. There's a bit of paracord going there, so if I slice that, that should be able to go over. Tuck that in there, and then same again. Like that. So yeah, it's not very bushcrafty using plastic, but it never was to begin with, because it was about using what I had available down here at the bushcraft camp. So I'm just give it a little trim. So tonight, I need to somehow close this while I'm inside. As in, just put that down. Yeah, and then we have it. That is going to hold in a lot more heat. So yeah, short-term fix, but it's going to keep me a bit warmer. Hello. Yeah. Right, what I might do now is think about dinner. So I'm going to get some food, stick it in the oven, because it's almost dinner time, actually. Yeah, well, between now and about, well, the last few sort of shots, myself and Amber, we did go for a long 1.5 hour walk around the woods. Hey, you chased a squirrel, didn't you? So yeah, I'm gonna get some food. Quick cup of tea to warm up. So yesterday, before I turned up here at the woods, when I left home, I raided the freezer. Well, I had the steak in the fridge, but then I raided the freezer, and these have only just thawed out because it's just been that cold. So that's quite a good thing actually about being out in the winter time, because your food doesn't really spoil. How many do I want? 6? No, let's go 7. Just gonna put some oil on it. And got some seasoning. Nice mix of chili flakes, paprika, salt in there as well. And then I've got 3 potatoes which I didn't want to cook last night. I wanted to save them for tonight. So that's me pretty much. That's me for tonight. Oh, just about fits. And look, we are 200 degrees Celsius, or we're just under, no, 200 degrees Celsius or 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, quite a good temperature for cooking. Hey Amber, what do you think? Hey? Chicken wings! Before it gets too dark, I'm just going to prepare a bit of firewood for the night. sometimes it catches. There we go. Bit more firewood. Right, so it's about 25 minutes later, and I just thought I'd give these a little turn. Woo. I'm going to give everything a little turn, actually. This way. And for those interested in one of these stoves, they're called Winnerwell, and seriously, they're really good stoves. So these have been in now for about, I reckon, about 40 minutes. Wow, smells really good. So that's what I did after I did the door. I just filled in that back kind of, well, that top part of the back wall. Still a few gaps. I need to get moss and fill in the gaps, similar to what I've done down here. But it's definitely keeping the heat in. Although the door's still open, I haven't really needed to close the door because it's still quite warm. But I will be closing the door when I go to bed because I'll need that as much warmth as I can just to survive the night. The meat just falls off the bone. Look at that. Peri seasoning, amazing. Bit spicy. Now I could really do with one of those beers that I forgot. Oh well, at least I brought good food with me. Crispy. So simple, but so tasty. Just gonna close that down to slow down the burn. Save the wood. Again, I have fed my dog. In fact, I fed her before eating tonight. Let the bones just fall out. It's really well cooked, beautifully cooked. The great thing is it's got a thermostat, so you can really control the temperature. Well, control it, you can, at least you're not guessing what the temperature is. You can try and keep it at a nice stable temperature for cooking. Obviously by using the vent on the front of the firebox. Yeah, and the smoky flavour as well, it gives it a good smoky flavour. No. Right, let's try one of these potatoes. A bit of caveman food tonight, just finger food. Ooh, hot. Dip it in all that juice, that fat, that flavour. Oh. No, it's not for you. You've had your food. So tonight I'm actually going to use this. I'm going to stuff this into my backpack, and I'm going to use this as my pillow because last night I just used my Well, I slept with my head on the backpack and I only had like an axe, my knife and my saw, and my wooden chopping board and cookser. That was my pillow. So it wasn't the most comfortable of pillows. However, speaking of cooksers and chopping boards, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone that supported the channel over the last year, 2 or maybe 3 years, especially recently with the lead up to Christmas. There are a lot of people that bought some merch, being a cookser or a chopping board. Some of the things were sent out a little bit late. Bit of a problem with postage, however everything's been posted out now, so hopefully everyone's going to get their kit in time for themselves or even for presents. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, which, well, many of you do know what I'm talking about, but I've got things like these titanium sporks, and I've got these knives, I've got these cooksers. So cooksers are just they're just like a wooden cup, really nice. And this is my slogan, cooking good in the woods. So I think tonight and last night I actually cooked good in the woods. And then I've got these chopping boards, bamboo, layered bamboo, super strong. You could drive over that and it probably still wouldn't break. And if you remember building this shelter, well, I used a bit of a hand drill. Well, they're called a Scotch-eyed auger. It's pretty much one of these. So you put a piece of wood in there, you twist it, and that drills into the wood. Yeah, it's a great little, great bit of kit for when it comes to bushcraft builds. You can do anything from, well, I did this small table with it actually. You can see I drilled through it and plugged it with a little wooden dowel, or just a bit of hazel. And it's all available on the bushcrafttools.com website right there, bushcrafttools.com. All right, moment of truth. I came here with 4 batteries and my battery has just started to flash. I've probably got about 5 minutes of camera time left. So I'm going to make this cup of tea real quick and then I'm probably going to call it a night. I'll report back in the morning to let you know how I slept. I've got a little bit of food for tomorrow morning. I've got just enough for one of those egg and sausage McMuffins, or muffin breakfast things. So yeah, before it does turn off and I run out of battery and have to use my phone, I'm gonna just sign off now. So again, thanks for watching. For those people that are still watching, obviously you're still watching if you can hear me say this, and I'll see you in the morning. Good night. There's my tea bags. And yeah, I do need a haircut, you're right. Well, I survived another night. I haven't turned into an icicle, although my bones are starting to feel like icicles, because it's actually, last night was a cold night. So I've got the stove going, the kettle is on the stove. I'm going to do another one of those breakfast muffins, because that's all I have left. Yeah, apart from that, hey, the chicken wings and potatoes last night, they were so good. Really good. You can't beat chicken wings. And again, the oven, the wood stove oven thing is just incredible for cooking in. Rather than always cooking food and frying food on the top of the stove, this thing allows you to cook in the oven. So yeah, great bit of kit. Well folks, that is it. Day 3, 2 nights in that cold shelter. Well, it's kind of coldish. I mean, it really needs a proper door rather than that plasticky thing. Yeah, I just want to say thank you very much if you're still watching. You obviously are watching because you're watching this. What I want to ask you to do is please comment. So those questions I asked you, like how do you like your steak, or what should I put in my pie? You know, all the interaction, all the comments that you drop, all the likes, all the sharing, all that interaction really helps boost the video. It helps it, well, it helps the algorithm and it helps it get noticed and promoted by YouTube. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys that always comment, you know, those legends that always comment. Thank you so much. You know who you are. Another thing is, I know there's adverts in the videos, but it's the only way I can fund what I do here at the bushcraft camp, and it kind of pays for a lot of the tools that I use and also the food that I cook. So without you guys watching those videos the whole way through rather than skipping, then again, I really appreciate your support. Right, I need to go warm up. Thanks again. I'll see you in the next video. But what should I put in that pie? Let me know. See you then.